this town has always been kind of like a shocker for me, because I mean, to have this many kids who are into art in one kind of centralized location, that we don't have more things like this happening. I mean, there are house shows, and we played several of those last year, and like several of the shows that could have happened in DeSoto happened at other locations and houses, and that's great, and house shows are fun, but to actually have a venue that you can call your own, and kind of like, no one has to worry about being broken up, and no one has to worry about like, oh, my floor and my furniture and my stuff's getting stolen and trampled on, and I mean, to have a kind of like, you know, a neutral space to have this all happen is a great thing.
All right. Well, for you people that are actually here on time, thank you for being here. You're all excellent people. And I would like to start the evening by making an official welcome to everybody here. This is, despite having several shows here, this is our grand opening of the DeSoto Row music space.
What started what DeSoto Row is now is what came from the lawn tractor thing. A couple summers ago, Justin Barnes and I had started a band called Mouse Like Dung, and then we wanted to do an installation. We wanted a place to play live.
It was Sean Leonard, Brian Leonard, Greg Lesar, and myself. We built this installation. We were just like full-on clients at that time. We paid our fee to use the gallery space, and we had our show. And the following night, a friend of mine from Maryland named Deacon was on tour, and he came and performed at this sidewalk in front of the gallery.
There's a section across the way from the DeSoto Gallery that is like this old, like, wrecked, abandoned, I think it was a storefront or something.
The space that the DeSoto Row music space is actually in is the old Starland Dairy, which is basically where all the concept goes behind the Starland Contemporary Art District. It is based off of the original dairy, which was big in the 40s and 50s, and so I don't know when it closed down, but then they opened up Starland around, like I said, 99, 2000, and so like 3 or 4 years ago they used to open the entire space up. Even back then it was still dilapidated, there was no roof or anything. It was just walls. I mean, parts of it are roof, but you can't go in many sections because it's definitely a hazard.
And then Minji Kang made a picture for a directing class that we were both in, and it was awesome. It was like, the name of it's Her Smile, and it had all these, like, you know, Asian process. It was like, it was a Korean brothel, but because of Minji's movie, she paid them enough to pay off the insurance or whatever was happening, so that those gates, you know, the gates were lifted and Moses came through.
This is a fresh start. This is a clean slate. This is the start of something different. This is a fresh start. This is a clean slate. This is the start of something similar.
So we've been working together and kind of trying to establish a more legitimate space to have music that is all ages and will bring like new music to Savannah. More stuff that's not being played at the Jinx, and the Jinx wouldn't even take, probably.
If anybody was the enemy here, it would be the Jinx. I guess that it's so far in like the bar and like party district. Like you kind of gotta walk a ways away from DeSoto Row to get to a bar or get to the next like nightclub. Whereas the Jinx, you walk out the door and there's like 16 of them right there on Congress Street.
When we played the Jinx, it just felt kind of like they were doing us a favor. And it was since we were a local act, they were like, well, now we're giving you the Jinx. And we try not to treat any of the DeSoto Row like people like that, like we're doing them a favor necessarily. We just want people to play. We've always wanted people to play.
It's the kind of thing that the only reason we're not playing shows, bands I guess that kind of play at DeSoto Row, the only reason we're not playing shows at clubs downtown is because we're maybe not doing enough to kind of get our name out there or be like well represented or something like that, or well understood. And that can be our problem, that can be our fault.
There's definitely like a genre that we have here, or like a subgroup or some sort of, I mean, I'm not a music theorist or anything.
You never know what you're going to see. It's not necessarily straight up, this is a concert, there's a band playing. You might have a crazy performance happen in the middle of a show.
I asked her why she didn't just sleep with him. And she stood up and heatedly denied that she was a whore, stalking off on her mountain bike. Stung by the fact that I knew better, having proven to me prior that she really was. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, fucking say that like we're totally down for anything. I think it's kind of like give us your poor and huddled masses. You know,
There's still a lot of musicians around town that aren't being heard. Like I don't know how many like other ones we've come across that which won't play shows because they're not comfortable yet. But if they see that's happening, then they'll start playing, and then people will be experienced like or they'll be able to experience like other music that's going on, maybe that they never thought of. I do think it's a sad thing to see some of these people go, because, and especially if you, but because Brian's been there the whole time, like he's been working on getting DeSoto Row established, you know, like when it was before, it was just like, you know, paintings in the wall or whatever, like it was actually started as something like music.
This is probably one of my last shows that I'm playing in Savannah, because October I have to do my senior project and then November I leave.
I know in my heart that it will continue, probably not the same way. I know that the gallery, I mean, we all know that the gallery will still stay there. We don't know how much longer the cops are gonna like deal with this. We don't know how much longer like the citizens will deal with this. I mean, it really is, you know, a playground for art students to be goof-offs loudly, you know.
as long as the people that I have in mind to run it, as long as they're, you know, still capable, and as long as the kind of community of audience still comes out to it, I think it's just going to be fun. I have never gone to DeSoto Row and not had fun.
It's natural progression. It was bound to happen sooner or later. And my only hope is that it continues after Sean and it continues on, and other people will step up and start taking it a little bit more seriously.
We've never had a problem staying alive because we're not being paid. All of our money just goes right back into rent. It's all a nonprofit. And it's the same with the music space. And this music space doesn't even have to pay bills as of yet. Maybe later on it'll have to get more established, and hopefully somebody will take over it and get it even more established than it is. You know, I mean, it's nice being as loose and independent as it is.
My only intent for doing DeSoto Row music space was there are venues, there are clubs, there are places in Baltimore, in Providence, in Greenville, North Carolina, where you don't even care who's playing. Like, you could go, as an audience member, you would go see anybody. It doesn't matter. But you know the space is so much fun, that, and the people that run the space are so cool, that regardless if it's like a ballet troupe, it's gonna be like the sweetest ballet troupe you've ever seen. It's gonna be the most fun, so fuck it, you're there anyways.
Let's keep doing all this fun stuff. Let's keep doing all these cool dudes. It's really good to say yes to people, to be friendly to people, to support each other. This space is about being friendly and supporting. This space is about doing all the cool stuff that we can't do in other places. We can have all the fun, and we can be really polite with each other, and we can be friends with each other. I love all of you. This is my last song.